You might think that brands hire the most talented person, but they don't. They hire the safest option. So how do you become the safest option that they choose? I'm Steven. I'm co-founder and executive producer at 7 Wonders, and we're a Emmy award-winning video marketing agency working with Fortune 500 brands across all different industries, including Comcast, Mercedes-Benz, US Bank, and Colgate. And what we have learned about really selling to any brand is that you have to be the most trusted and safest option. And it's all about telling your story and framing your story in a way that those brands perceive you as the safest option. If you're putting yourself in the shoes of a marketing manager that's been tasked with finding a solution to a particular problem, the first place that they're going to go is to their Rolodex of trusted resources that have already gone through the procurement process. So already you're on an uphill battle against those approved options. From the brand marketer's perspective, they're not going to get fired if they hire a safe choice. They're only going to get in trouble if they go out on a limb and hire someone that is unproven, that then backfires and they're the responsible party. So what you need to do in order to get on their radar and to get through procurement is to prove your credibility. The first thing that you can do, which is the obvious thing and probably the hardest thing, is work with a competitor or a similar company, similar organization, an organization that has an equal amount of difficulty to get onboarded with. If you have experience working with someone similar that has a degree of cachet in the industry, then you're going to have the ability to reference that to prove viability for the brand that you want to work with. But obviously, it's a chicken or the egg scenario. How do you get in with your first brand in this capacity? People buy trust before they buy talent. If you can find small ways to demonstrate that you're credible, that you're trustworthy, that you show up on time, that you communicate proactively, they're going to start to believe in you and might give you bigger and bigger opportunities within their organization. In our case, we wanted to work with a national nonprofit. We found a local chapter to work with, and the people that we started to work with and develop relationships with, over time, they started to develop higher and higher levels of authority within the organization, ultimately becoming leadership positions at the national level, and brought us with them. So it takes time to develop and build that trust, but if you can prove over and over that you are reliable, you put yourself in the best possible position to ultimately get to work with the brand that you want to work with. Next is give before you take. If you can provide value of any kind that is actually useful to the brand that you want to work with before asking for specific contract terms or compensation or anything like that, that is going to entrust you to them in a way that's going to make them want to hire you into the future. In our case, we have our own video podcast where we invite guests on that we know are going to be qualified prospects, and they're often honored. They're often excited to join our podcast. And after we finish recording, we say, hey, we're going to edit this up a bunch of different ways. We'll do an edit in your branding and give that to you so that you can use that for your own marketing collateral. And then when they see the quality of the output and they see the functionality of what it can do for them, we're immediately top of mind when they want to do something similar in the future. So if you can find a way in a non-intrusive capacity, generate something of value to a prospect that you want to work with, they're going to look at you as someone who can solve problems for them in the future. So make yourself valuable to them before you ask for anything in return. Next is remove uncertainty before they ask about it. Are there questions that you get a lot about your credibility? In our case, when we were first starting out, we would get a lot of questions about our size. How big is your team? And you need to be prepared to answer those questions. Obviously, you want to be truthful and you want to be honest with how you answer those, but you also want to minimize the perceived risk that you have. So we would say, hey, we have a network of partners that we work with. We have specialists in every specific area. And you can also use the questions and how you frame your answer, how you tell the story to your advantage as well. We will give you the best possible service because as a smaller team, we're more nimble. We can give you a better customer experience than the large bloated agency that you're working with. So be prepared to answer the hard questions, be honest about those answers, but also make sure that you're presenting yourself as an asset to them and someone that can be trusted and resourced in the future. And lastly, because if there's no low-hanging fruit, if there's no way in that you can see, if there's not a local chapter, etc., create your own proof instead of waiting for permission to get the opportunity. In our case, we were having trouble getting access to brands when we first started our company over 12 years ago. And so we made a short documentary project on our own that we knew would be attractive to particular brands. And that documentary was about one of the last surviving paratroopers from D-Day. We took it on a film festival run that got some attention from some larger brands like National Geographic and The Atlantic Magazine and the US Army. It ultimately got distribution from some of those channels. At that point, they had not asked us to be a service provider to them. They had just seen the work that we had done. But when they started to get into talks about distributing the content on their channels, that gave us a window of opportunity to say, hey, is there any way that we could be considered as a vendor resource when you need to produce something similar in the future? And it didn't happen overnight. We still had to prove viability and get the clear-cut opportunity. But because we had done the legwork to prove credibility, when that opportunity came, we were ready and we were able to pounce on it. And some of those clients are our longest lasting clients and led to other clients as well. And so if you can find that backdoor opportunity and make your own luck, so to speak, that is another option to working with a brand directly in a small capacity. It's all about being proactive, doing the research, and presenting yourself as a trusted option that is resourceful, that is credible, and that is on top of their game when the opportunity arises.